man, this was super cool. I actually got to go to like a Q&A with the directors and producers right after this, sponsored by Collider. It was awesome stuff, guys. I saw the movie early. I'm not getting my review of it out to you guys now because I had like finals that week and stuff. But ultimately, I'm so hyped to talk about this. I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So this is a new animated movie centered on Miles Morales, voiced by, I believe his name is Shameik Moore. He was the kid in Dope, and I love Dope. And I love the movie, by the way, not the substance. Shameik Moore voices Miles Morales. He's this kid, I think he's like 12 or 13 years old. He lives in New York, and he's going to this new prep school and everything. He doesn't really fit in. He sees a couple people around school that he's kind of friends with, but not really. He ultimately just loves spending time with his uncle Aaron, who's played by Donald Glover in Spider-Man Homecoming. The two of them bond and everything, and one night Miles is bit by a radioactive spider, and you kind of know the story from there, but you also kind of don't, because then what happens is this particle accelerator type of thing starts bringing all these different spider people into his life. You've got Peter Parker, you've got Spider-Gwen, you've got Spider-Ham, you've got Noir Spider-Man. It's just a crazy amalgamation of all these spider people talking and everything, but the main part of the movie is Peter Parker as this kind of middle-aged, washed-up guy mentoring young Miles Morales as he becomes Spider-Man for the first time, and that central relationship drove this entire movie for me. I loved seeing the two of them interact the entire way through. I thought that the washed-up Peter Parker was a great way to play the character. I always had this great pitch for like an Old Man Logan or Dark Knight Returns style Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man's like 55 and Mary Jane is dead and he needs to like come back and like train his nephew to like become Spider-Man and everything. And I always thought that would be a great pitch for a movie. And they incorporate a lot of that into the Peter Parker character here, and I thought it was excellent. The movie also, right off the gate, you can tell takes risks with its characters and isn't willing to do things that maybe the mainstream audience isn't used to seeing in Spider-Man movies before. They have a very comic book looking animation, which I was very skeptical of when I saw the first teaser about a year ago now. I was like, that looks like it just isn't rendered the right way. I just don't dig it. Sony animation hasn't always been my favorite, but it looks like a comic book come to life, and it is visually beautiful. The way that they like make the villain in the movie is Kingpin. Is not a spoiler, I promise. Yes, the one from like the Marvel Daredevil show that just got canceled, sadly. Kingpin's the villain in the movie, and the way that he's so like larger than life and everything too is just a really interesting way of like making that come to life again, making it feel like it's a comic book, and like he's this larger than life presence that Miles Morales is having a difficult time defeating and everything. It was really well thought out. Again, the dynamic between Miles and Peter was great. Having the villain of Kingpin was great. I felt like he was thoroughly fleshed out. There's some twists in the movie that I did not see coming, and it's hard at this point to kind of pull some stuff over on me as an audience member. I see so many movies that I'm like, alright, so the story's gonna go here, here, and here, but they go in completely different directions that made sense, but also were still departures, and worked well for what the movie was going for. I thought the animation was great. The action sequences in the movie were beautiful. They were kind of hallucinogenic and trippy in some ways, and at some points they were like, alright, so okay, we're back in. I really, really dug that. The humor in this movie works extremely well. I loved so many of the meta jokes they just landed for me, and I was like, yup, I'm a fan of movies, I'm a fan of Spider-Man, and I love that. But I feel like this movie walks the line really, really well of making sure that you can make meta in-jokes for fans of comic books, but still make them accessible to average moviegoers. So if you're not like a gigantic Spider-Man fan, like your kids want to go see this movie, you'll have a great time watching it alongside them. Or if you're somebody like me whose parents aren't super comic book nerds or anything like that, you can take them and they would still get a great time out of watching this movie. This is probably one of the most consistent movies I've actually seen in 2018, which is that the first, second, and third acts all flow really well into each other. None of them feel like they have huge gaping issues. Some of the visuals from time to time are like, again, a little bit like hallucinogenic, very much like that scene in Incredibles 2, where it's kind of like the strobe light thing happening. There's a few sequences a little bit like that, so if you aren't super into that, you might not dig a few of the scenes in this movie. But guys, overall, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it's a really great time in the theater. I loved every second of it. It really was quite enjoyable. I don't know if it's in my top 10 movies of the year or not, but it's very close. Definitely top 20, I would say. And it's something you guys will love this Christmas time to go check out with the whole family. But guys, those are just my thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Let me know all of yours in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter at JohnHayeck, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for tons of more posts from me. Links to all three of those are in the comment section or in the description down below. You guys can be sure to like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, so thank you guys so much for watching.